Hello everyone, welcome back to another Procreate tutorial where today I'm going to be showing you how to use layers to make an awesome landscape picture. So let's get started. Today my canvas is set at 1280 pixels by 720 pixels. I have provided you with a color palette and a brush pack, and you can download that in a free download over on Gumroad. I'll leave the link below. I've set it up where you can also donate $1 or $2 if you appreciate these free tutorials that I bring to you every week. So let's get started. I think I am going to work from front to back. So the first color I'm going to choose will be, let's go into your palettes here. I'm going to choose this really black one right here. And then in your brush pack, we're just going to use the Inker Streamliner here. And we're going to make just kind of foreground here. You can just curve it just like that and then drag it and drop it in, and there's your foreground right there. Now I'm going to turn this into a gradient, and the way that I found is the easiest way to do it is choose the second color that you want down here below, and I'm going to choose this darker blue right next to the blackish color that we chose. And then I'm going to change the brush to this soft brush right here. And then on the bottom here, we're just going to color in the bottom. Just about like that. And now what we want to do is we want to Gaussian blur it. Now, you have to set this layer to alpha lock, because if you don't, I'll show you what happens. So I'm going to go up to the magic wand here. We're going to hit Gaussian blur. I'm going to slide on. Now you see the whole thing blurs, and we don't want it coming out of the original lines that we drew. So I'm going to go back on that. And then if you go and set the layer to alpha lock, now it will not go outside that shape we made at all. So the blur will happen just inside the shape only. So if you hit Gaussian blur again this time, now when we go to Gaussian blur it, you can see that it maintains our crisp line here on top, but it blurs the colors in below, which turns it into a gradient. And you can jack that up to as much however you like it. I got it about 20%, and I think that's good. That's the way I want my foreground to be. Okay, so that's finished on that part. Let's go in and create a new layer. And then since we're working front to back, we're going to need all of the layers under the previous layer that we drew. So we're going to take this layer 2, we're going to drag it and drop it under layer 1. All right, let's make some water here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this white color for now. And since our background is white, I'm going to turn it off so we can see where we draw in our water. Okay, I want the water to be under the tips of both edges here. So I'm going to start it off the canvas. Oops, I got the wrong brush. Change it back to your streamliner brush. And then we're just going to draw a straight line across. And then hold your pen down. It'll make it straight. And then we'll kind of even that up. Just about like that, and then you can drag and drop your white in there. Okay, so there's our water. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put a gradient on our water too. So what I'm going to do is, for this left side of the water, I'm going to use this really light blue here. I'm going to go back to our soft brush. Oops, okay. Change it to alpha lock again. Okay, I'm going to do that side of it, kind of a bluish color. Maybe we'll drop in some little blues all the way around it. Okay, and then on this side, let's make it a little bit darker. So I'm going to choose this blue here. And I'm going to put that in a little bit darker there. Maybe the edge right here too, we can put a little bit darker. Okay, I like it. We can take the opacity down really hot and then put our brush size up, and then we can put it in like that. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Let's go ahead and go to our Gaussian blur again. Okay, not bad, but we'll work on it more. So we can Gaussian blur it once, and then we can add more to it. So I'm gonna choose that light blue again. I want it more. Let me bring my opacity up. I want it kind of stronger over here. Maybe along that edge too. And then maybe this darker blue down here we'll put in right here and right there. Okay, let's Gaussian blur that one. Let's see what happens. All right, that's better. So you can see you're just getting these kind of gradient colors through here, which is what we want. I'm going to choose this darker blue here, and I'm going to go back to my Inker Streamliner pen here, and I'm going to draw something like that. That's maybe going to be the mountains or the other layer of landscapes in the background, possibly to reflecting in the water. So then what we can do is we can take our soft brush again, and we can kind of fill in where that line's going to be. Something like that. And then let's go back to our Gaussian blur again. And let's see, there we go. Yeah, I like it. So it could be the hills in the background reflecting in the water, possibly. You know, whatever, use your imagination. Okay, let's go ahead and turn our background layer back on, and we're going to do our next layer back here. So we're going to do some hills. So you're going to start a new layer. We're going to drag it under everything else. And then the color we're going to choose is maybe, let me see. I think I'm going to use this darker color here, darker blue. And then make sure you're on your Inker Streamliner again. And we're going to just create a mountain or something that comes, just kind of wiggle your pen, and then we'll bring it off the other side right there, and then we'll fill that in, and there's another layer of landscape. So with this technique, you can do so much with it. Just I mean, I challenge you guys to use different colors, use different shapes, and do this layering, and you can really create some pretty cool stuff. Even if you don't have a lot of experience drawing, you can create some really nice landscapes. Okay, let's put what's the word I'm looking for? Let's put a gradient on this part here too. So we need to go a little bit lighter. And another thing you can do is, if you're using your own colors and not my color palette that I've given you, you can go to the classic view on your color palette here. And then if you want, say you want the bottom of your mountain hills here to be a little bit lighter color, just take the bottom slider here and slide it up to make it lighter, and now you got a lighter version of that color you just laid down. And now what we can do is let's make sure we set it to alpha lock first, and now let's color in the bottom of that with our soft brush, the bottom of those hills a lighter color, and then let's hit the Gaussian blur on it and let's see what happens. There we go. Yeah, I like it. Looks good. Okay, there you go. All right, so next thing, let's go ahead and put in the next layer. So we're gonna go a little bit, you know what? Now that I'm looking at that, I don't really like it that much. I think it's a little light. Let's see what we can do with it. Maybe we can go to Hue Adjustment Saturation. Maybe we can take the brightness of it down some. Yeah, that's better. Yep, I'm gonna leave it like that. So there's all kinds of things you can do with it. You can even, like, if you don't like the position of it, you can hit the little arrow here, and you can move that whole thing, you know, wherever you want it. So if you thought it was too high, you can move it down. If you wanted it, you know, a little bit higher, you could move it up. So whatever you need to do, that's why when you work with layers, it makes it so easy to manipulate it and put it where you want it. Okay, so let's go a little bit lighter now, and we'll make another layer. I'm gonna go back to my palettes. We're gonna go up to maybe that color right there. And then again, create a new layer, drag it under everything, since we're working front to back. And then we're gonna do another layer of my, oops, let me go back to my Inker Streamliner brush again. And then we're just gonna do some wiggly mountains again. And go off the edge of the screen, fill that in. There's our next layer. And if you wanted to put a gradient on it, do the same thing, set it to alpha lock. Go to my classic, and maybe I will make it a little darker this time and then just color the tops. Put a little gradient on it like that. If you do it carefully, you might not even have to Gaussian blur it, just like that. So we can maybe put a little one on it, see what happens. Yeah, just like that. I just did a little 5%. So you can do it with your brush too if you're good at your pressure control. All right, let's put the sky in before we put the mountains. So that's going to be on the very bottom again. So I'm going to take that all the way down to the bottom, and let's choose this. Maybe this. Let me go back to my palette. This very light blue color here. We're going to drag and drop it in there. There's our sky. Okay, and if we want to do a gradient on it again, set it to alpha lock. Maybe the top's going to be a little bit darker and it's going to get lighter as you go down. So we could go to our classic again, darken that up. Maybe give it a little bit more saturation, give it more color. And then we'll go back to our soft brush again. And then we'll do the tops. Maybe make our brush a little bit fatter. Put that top in like that. Just Gaussian blur it. There we go. Now we got our gradient on our background. Okay, let's put a mountain in. So I think I'm going to, let's see what color we want for our mountain. Let's do this blue right here next to the white. Then make sure you're on your Channel Inker Streamliner again. We're going to put a mountain in. And remember, this is going to be, did we do a new layer? No, we didn't. New layer. That's going to go on top of the background, but under everything else. So, just like that. And we're going to need to close the shape off. So what I would recommend doing is just coming in from the side here, like that, and then let's come up where we want our mountain to be. So just kind of wiggle it up, and then we'll bring it back down like that. All right, and now we have a closed shape, so we can fill that in. Okay, let's do, should we do them on separate layers? Maybe we'll do two on one layer, and then we'll do the one in front of everything on another layer. So let's do one more. Let's come in from the side over here. Just go like that, and then we're going to have a mountain come up like this. Just like that. And fill him in. All right, and now I'm going to do another one on top of these two. I'm going to start a new layer. I'm going to have him come maybe like that, and then make sure you close that off. Okay, and then in this little thing here, we can fix that. There we go. All right, so we've got two of the mountains on one layer, and then this little bitty one in front on a different layer. All right, let's put some shadows on the sides of the mountains here. So we're gonna go to our darker color here, maybe this one right here. And then go back to your Inker Streamliner, and then on that mountain layer that we did the two on, we want to set those to, you know what, we're going to start a new layer on top of the mountains, and we're going to set that layer to clipping mask, and clipping mask will only allow us to paint on those two mountains. It's kind of like alpha lock, but alpha lock is on the same layer where clipping mask is on a separate layer, but it does the same thing. Okay, so we're going to do this shadow from the top here. Just make a little wiggly shape, just like that. And then we're going to close it off here. And we can drag and drop that in there. So there's the shadow on our mountain on that side. And then for this mountain here, we're going to do on the opposite side because our moon's going to be here in the middle. So let's do another one here. Just do a little jaggedy shape like this. And then we'll close that off. Make sure you get that edge right there. And then we'll fill that in. Here we go. And then for our other little mountain, layer on top, clipping mask, and then we'll do one here. Here we go. Okay, and now on the opposite side of that, we're going to put some highlights. So, you know, we can do it basically on the same layers, we just put the shadows on, because it's going to be totally on the opposite side. So let's choose that whitish color here. And you know what? I want to do it with the soft brush this time. And then right here on the edge, oops, big brush, too big. Take that down. And now look at this. Just like that. And then we'll do one on this side. Actually, I gotta remember that our big mountains are on the same layer. So put that highlight right there on that side. And then we'll go to our little mountain. And that was that one right there. And then we'll do one on the inside here. Just like that. Very good. See how cool that's looking? And I mean, I'm doing this really quick, so I mean, I'm not like taking my time to do anything like special. So you can take that for what it's worth. All right, so let's go and let's do this light blue color here again. And maybe I want to go to my classic again and make it even lighter. And maybe take some of the color out. We're going to do some clouds. We're going to go for the inker streamliner, and we're going to make a new layer, and the clouds are going to be behind the mountains but in front of the sky. So let's go to the sky layer here, and we'll start a new layer on top of it. And now we're just going to put some little wispy clouds in here. So maybe shape like that and just drag and drop and fill it in. And this part here that I messed up on, we can fix that. Great thing about digital art is there are no mistakes. Everything can be fixed. All right, let's do another cloud, maybe right here. And close that off. Fill it in. Maybe another one here. That's good. All right, there's some clouds. And if you want, you can click the little N here, and we can turn the opacity down a little bit so they're kind of see-through. That'll make it a little bit cooler. All right, now we want to do our moon here in the middle. So let's choose our white color here. And we're going to do a layer on top of the clouds. So just start a new layer. And then we're going to do a moon right here in the middle. So just do a circle, hold your pen down, touch it with your other finger, and it'll make a perfect circle. And then we can fill that in right there. So there's our moon. And I think I want to do a gradient on this one too. I want to do like a little pinkish color to it actually. So let's go over to maybe like that. Let's see what happens. We'll pick our soft brush here and we'll set it to alpha lock again. And then let's do from the top, let's do like a little pinkish to it. Just about like that. Okay. Maybe Gaussian blur it. Let's see what happens. That's good. Okay. And then I also want it to make it a little see-through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my eraser here and I'm going to choose the soft brush from my eraser. And I'm going to take the opacity down to about 42, 43%. And we're going to kind of erase some of this moon on the bottom. So we can kind of see the clouds through it. Just like that. We can still see the moons there, but we can see the clouds through it. Okay? Just about like that. And I think as far as the landscape goes, I think that's good enough. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to choose a dark color, so this blackish color here, and then I've given you a tree brush, tree silhouette, and I recommend to do these on new layers because when you drop them down, you can move it or you can resize it. And I think I want it about right there. So there's one. And then we're gonna do a smaller one. So I'm gonna make my brush size a little smaller. I'm gonna start a new layer, drop a tree in there, and now I can put this where I want it. So I think I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. And I'm gonna put it there. So just like that. All right, let's do a few more over here on this side. Again, I'm gonna just keep doing new layers for each one so I can position them where I want them. We'll do one here. That's good. Start a new layer. Drop another one in. Move him where we want him. I'm gonna make him small. And then start a new layer. Make it a little bit bigger. And drop him in there. I'm gonna put him right up there. Okay, that's good. Let's do some in the background here too. So I think I want to do this back mountain color here, and then I think I want to darken it just a little bit. So I'm going to go to classic again. I'm just going to slide my darker slider just over a little bit. Okay, and let's start a new layer and drop a tree in there, and then we can move it. I think I want it a little bit darker actually. So anyway, I'm gonna put it right here, and I think I want it behind this layer here, so I think that one right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag that down here and put it under. So now it'll be behind that one there, and I want to darken it up a little bit. I'm going to use saturation and take the brightness down on it. Yeah, that's better. Just like that. All right, and then what you can do is, instead of having to do all that process again, is just slide it to the left and duplicate it. Another trick here. Now we can move it over, and it's the same color, and we can still make it smaller. We'll put one there. Let's duplicate it again. Let's put one right there. Let's duplicate it again. We'll put one over here. Maybe make it a little smaller. And then let's duplicate it one more time. And we'll put one right there. All right, guys, that is going to do it. And you can see, the techniques that I've showed you today. You can use these and put them to your use. You can make all kinds of layered backgrounds, landscapes, or anything using this technique. I did it really quickly. I could make this look a lot better if I had more time, but for the sake of the video time, we just did something really quickly. I hope this has helped you. If you have not subscribed, please do so. We've got new Procreate tutorials coming at you every week. And with that, I will see you next week. Take care.